StepManiaX is a 5-panel rhythm game. Some would even say it's the spiritual successor to one of my favorite video games ever, the In the Groove series. What is up, internet? Welcome back to Diet Revolution. I am Nivik, and in today's video, I'm going to give you guys my full review of StepManiaX. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. I am an old school DDR player. I grew up playing DDR in the late 90s, early 2000s. Keep that in mind during this review. StepManiaX is a 5-panel rhythm game. Some would even say it's the spiritual successor to one of my favorite video games ever, the In the Groove series. I could see why. There's a ton of similar, if not the same, music from that series. Even some of the note skins look like some of the old note skins from the In the Groove series. The first time I stepped on a StepManiaX machine, it felt like there was something missing, like a piece of my brain was gone. Once you see that gap in the middle of up, down, left, right, wow, is that weird. Like, take a look at these jumps. Look how wide left and right is from each other, and that middle gap between up and down just feels wrong. I don't want to say that I'm 100% used to it, because I'm obviously not, especially at the more complicated patterns. I'm definitely more used to it now than I was when I first started, which isn't saying much. The middle button is definitely something you're going to have to get used to if you're making the transition from DDR or ITG to StepManiaX. I want to talk with you people about the good, and then I'll get to the bad towards the later half of this video. StepManiaX has a huge song list with a bunch of different genres. A lot of returning stuff from previous games that Kyle Ward has worked on, to DDR classics, which is really amazing to see. You get amazing stuff like So Deep Perfect Spear Mix, Bumblebee, which was both in DDR and ITG, funny enough. There's definitely something here for everyone. You even have artists that were primarily, I would say, DDR, B-Money, Konami games, making music for StepManiaX. For example, the StepManiaX version of Can't Stop Falling in Love, called Falling in Love Again, which I've played on a recent vlog. There's a lot of really good, outstanding stuff. You also have new things like the new collaboration they just did. The song list seems to keep getting updates. There's constantly new tracks being added. I would say this game handles flow relatively well. There is some things that I find questionable as someone that's new to the series, but I'm sure if I played the game long enough, got closer to the skill ceiling, I'd be able to understand the patterns a bit better. That's not a knock on the game, it's just something I thought I should point out as a old school DDR player. One of the most amazing features of StepManiaX is something I really wish they brought to DDR. I don't know if any DDR ever had this, because the last machine I played on before the A20 series was Supernova and Supernova 2. Back in the early days, there was arcade machines that allowed you to bring a PlayStation memory card. Leave a comment below if you remember that. I don't remember if those memory card slots allowed for edits. I think they did, I'm not 100% sure. To my experience, I've never been able to get to a DDR machine and play an edit mode chart. StepManiaX lets you not only do that, but you don't gotta pay for any extra hardware. All you do is download the free StepManiaX app, the SMX app, and you could either download one from the tons that are available from the hundreds, if not thousands, of StepManiaX users, or you could do like me and create your own. Now, I've created a ton of custom charts for DDR music, for custom music, all in StepMania, so I was right at home. There's a little bit of a learning curve when you're making your first edit for StepManiaX. There's some new options that we're not quite used to. It's all touch-based interface, but once you get the hang of it, it's a breeze. The excellent thing about this, and I pray I have my fingers crossed that Kyle Ward does not get sued. People are importing or recreating, however you want to phrase it, original DDR charts or the DDR songs that StepManiaX has licensed, the older DDR songs. This is unbelievably awesome for an arcade machine to have an option like this. Now, you can go ham and create ridiculous stuff. You can create couples charts or team charts, whatever they're called. There's so much flexibility with StepManiaX. Download the app, create an account, and you're good to go. Really, really awesome.
200 combo.
There's 2 or 3 different style StepManiaX machines available, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's 2. There's a smaller, more compact version, and then there's the larger version, and then there's like home versions. That's what I meant when I said like 3. For the smaller compact version, I've played it once. I believe it's in Lakeland, Florida. It's good. There's nothing wrong with it. It's the same dance pad. The screen is huge. It's all touchscreen, very high resolution. Nothing wrong with it. But the bigger cabinet is unbelievably awesome. In fact, it might be a little bit too awesome. Like, there's probably a weird thing to complain about, but the screen is so big that the arrows travel a lot faster to get from the bottom to the top because there's so much distance it has to cover. So just to give you like a feeling of what I'm saying here, on DDR, my scroll speed is about 450, 460, depending on the song. I could go maybe a little higher. On StepManiaX, my scroll speed is 375. And even that is a little bit fast. I might try 350 next time I'm at the arcade. Having that much screen in front of you could be a con a little bit. I think it's fine, but it's just something I thought worth mentioning, considering the scroll speed stuff. The bar is fantastic. I have no complaints with it. There was this one time I went to the arcade and it was really, really loose. Like I almost fell off of the machine, how loose it was. But I told the tech about it. He came, he tightened it, and everything was good to go. So I don't know if that was just someone was playing really rough and they shook it a bunch, or maybe somebody loosened it on purpose hoping someone would get hurt. I don't know. But I haven't had that problem since. I would say the bars are fantastic. The screen, the interface. I freaking love the announcer, by the way. He said something along the lines of like, please unsubscribe me from your issues. It's hard to laugh hard when you're out of breath, and that managed to do that for me. Like, there's personality there. It's really funny what the announcer says sometimes. I want to touch on gameplay a little bit. The gameplay of StepManiaX is smooth, handles things the way you would think coming from ITG or DDR. I love the fact that they didn't skimp out on any special notes that you could hit. So for example, you have regular single notes, you have jumps, and then if you really wanted, you could make a step chart with all 5 arrows being pressed at once, or all 4 arrows in the middle button. You could have every button being pressed at once if you really wanted to. It's not like impossible to do. You have singles, jumps, bracketing basically. I would have loved if it was hands, but unfortunately the world like kind of moved on from that. We also have freeze arrows, of course. And we have rolls. Now, I don't know what they're called exactly in StepManiaX. I kind of forgot. But rolls are basically freeze arrows that you have to keep hitting. This was amazing in the In the Groove era. Amazing for StepMania and custom songs. But I actually think Step Revolution made rolls better with StepManiaX. Like, I'm waiting for the day for that kind of roll to be implemented into StepMania. There's a counter on the rolls now showing you how many times it needs to be hit. That is really freaking awesome. I wish all rolls had this, because there's so many times where people try to cheat them, not do rolls the intended way. This fixes that issue. If you count how many times the roll is supposed to be hit by doing the calculation in your head or whatever, you can add that number. So if they hit it in a lesser amount because they want to cheat it or whatever, it won't give them the proper score. They'll drop the roll. which I think is sweet. I'm really happy about that. Phenomenal job to the StepManiaX team for doing that. I really, really like to see that. Just want to interrupt this video for a quick second to let you know that these videos take a really long time to edit, film. It's a lot of work. The problem with any rhythm game content is you can't really get money from ads on them. All the music is copyrighted. The music is only meant to be played, not to be filmed. So if you want to support me or anyone else making rhythm game videos, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you really, really like the video, you want to be like really supportive, leave a super chat, super thanks. Highly recommend not doing it on a cell phone though. If you could do it on desktop, that would be great, because I think when you do it on cell phone, they take a cut out of it, where if you do it on desktop, most of the money goes to the creator. So if you want to support me or any creators making rhythm game content, thumbs up on the video, subscribe, and a super thanks, super chat if you feel the video deserves it. Back to the review. If you're an old school DDR player, if you haven't been in the scene for a while, there's a few things that StepManiaX has that I'm personally not a huge fan of, but I understand it's modern times and this is what modern charting looks like. So I'm not mad at it. I'm just not really a huge fan of it. There's a lot of foot switches in this game and a lot of bracketing. For those of you who don't know what foot switching is, foot switches are basically if you use both feet to hit one arrow. So if you go with your left foot and right foot to hit up. It's weird. You get used to it. It's understandable why these patterns exist, but yeah, it's there. There's also different kind of foot switches where you like bunny hop, sort of. And then there's stuff like bracketing. The thing with me and why I don't really care for bracketing, again, I don't hate it. I don't know, in my opinion, it's just like, why? Just give us 2 arrows, jumps. I would have really preferred hands. Give me some Queen of Light style charts and I would have been happy. Like, I really liked hands back in the day. And when I make step charts till today, I include hands. Bracketing, I've started to make like tech charts recently, just to not fall behind. Like, I want to understand them. I want to implement them when I think it makes sense. The bracketing I do, however, is more like easy and there's a lot of preparation. Whereas the bracketing that's seen in modern step file packs, step charts, and StepManiaX, it comes up really quick. And if you don't recognize that pattern and immediately hit it, you're missing the bracket. It's just weird. Will I get used to it? Only time will tell. I don't really have too much time on a StepManiaX machine. I have played it a ton, but not enough to get to the higher levels, the higher technical stuff. So that'll be determined as we go on to the future. But again, just thought something worth mentioning. The arcade machine is awesome. The interface, the gameplay is all buttery smooth. I've heard horror stories online, but I haven't seen any hiccups or anything like that with the StepManiaX machine. And even if I did, it was so minimal that I forgot about it. I would say pretty good job so far. But there is some bad. And what's good is that some of the bad could be fixed with software updates, I would assume. And then some of the bad is probably never going to be fixed, if I'm being completely honest with you people. Let's start with the minor issues of StepManiaX. One of the minor issues, for some reason, I can't see my previous best score when I'm selecting a song. I can't see any of really the info of the song, only what difficulty the song is. And I find that so strange. And DDR World also took this approach as well. Like, they got rid of the groove radar. Like, why? Why can't I know how many jumps a song is so I know not to play it? Why are you taking that info away from me? I love In the Groove 2 style, where it just tells you 50 jumps, 700 arrows, 3 hands, 80 mines. Like, bring that back. Why is that not an option in StepManiaX? It's so weird to me. There's no info on what the song is. You're going in blind. There's no way to see your previous score. I mean, I guess if you use the app, but like the only time I open the app is if I'm at the arcade so I can see what my code is, what my pin is, or if I'm making an edit. I don't just go on the app randomly all the time. I think a lot of people could probably agree with me on this. You want to see your scores while you're in the arcade looking at the arcade machine. You don't want to constantly be looking at your phone. I think this could be done with a software update. Maybe DDR has a patent on this or something that doesn't allow StepManiaX to do this. I don't know, but it's a flaw to me. I really hope that they fix this because I would love to just see what my last previous best was. Like, is that so much to ask for? I don't want to go through every song on the app first before I get to the arcade or while I'm at the arcade. Just show me on the screen. That's it. Simple. Another con, maybe this varies from arcade to arcade or something. Maybe this isn't even a con. I think it's worth mentioning. Maybe this will get attention one day. I don't know. Why can DDR players with eAmuse passes get an extra song at the end of their set for the same price as a regular set, but StepManiaX users can't? I feel if you downloaded the app and you signed up and you're using their services and you're giving the arcades money to play this arcade machine, why can't they give us 4 songs? We're already paying a lot of money to play these games. Arcade games got way more expensive than they was when I was a teenager, I'll tell you that much. A lot of arcades I used to go to used to give you 3 songs or 4 songs if you got extra stage for 50 cents, 75 cents. The normal amount it was back then was always $1, right? Like that was the highest it ever went. That's what I seen at most arcades, $1, right? You would get lucky sometimes and find cheaper, but $1 for the most part. Now, if you do the calculator, it's like $1.50, $1.75, sometimes $2, depending on arcades. And sometimes the arcades actually limit the songs to 1 or 2 songs, which is really horrible, really unfortunate. We're there to give you money to play your game, and you guys are like trying to rip us off or something. Not saying StepManiaX, I'm saying arcades in general. If the arcades had StepManiaX at $1 per swipe, I wouldn't even be mentioning this. But the fact that DDR, the competition, if we just get full combos, right, and not mess up crazily, we get extra stage, and that's without flair. If you put flair on, you're almost guaranteed extra stage. StepManiaX doesn't have any kind of option like this. We paid $6 for an eAmuse card, right? Let's say we wanted to upgrade to a StepManiaX Pro account or something like that, and you pay a one-time fee of $6, not a monthly thing. Please don't do monthly. If we was to pay like a one-time $6 fee to become a Pro member, and that gave us a fort song whenever we log in, I think a lot of people would be happy with that. StepManiaX would get more money. People would get a fort song, especially people like me who are using arcades to exercise, to lose weight. That extra 1 song every swipe adds up. It would help us make our sessions better, help us lose weight faster. Again, this is not really a con, but I feel like if DDR could give players an extra song because they purchased a membership card or whatever, I think StepManiaX could kind of do the same thing. The last thing on this bad list that I want to talk about, it's really, really unfortunate, but the dance pad has, in my opinion, a really bad design. For the most part, everything seems flush with each other. Nothing is raised or lowered, and if there is, it's such a minimal amount that you can't feel it with your shoes. If you've been playing DDR for a while, bar or no bar, you know where you're standing 100% of the time. Especially if you have years and years. I have 20 years of experience playing Dance Dance Revolution, so I kind of know every inch of the dance pad where I'm standing. I'll never miss an input because I stand it in the wrong spot. It's because I got too tired, I misread the chart. It'll be for another reason. It'll never be because I standed in the wrong place. I can't say the same for StepManiaX. Again, maybe this is something I could get used to, but I've seen a ton of complaints online. A bunch of people have the same opinion about this. And it's really sad because the game is so good, has such a banger soundtrack that's growing constantly. I don't know if it's every month it grows, every couple of weeks or whatever, but I always see like these updates and it's like always 4 new songs or whatever. The game is still fresh. The game is still getting new content on a consistent basis. Sometimes it's a hassle to play it because the dance pad just feels so weird. Again, like I said at the start of this video, this is just my experience as an old school DDR player. Maybe people that never played DDR and only started to play dance games with StepManiaX, maybe they have no problem at all. Maybe they know exactly where they're at on the dance pad. Maybe people look down and see where they're standing. Not me. I don't look down ever when I'm playing dance games. I'm looking at the screen. Take that with some dance pads having weird sensitivity issues. Now, I didn't want to include this as a con at the start, like before I started recording this video, but I went to the arcade recently. You can see me pressing, like for example, the right arrow and getting misses. The left arrow, up arrow, and down arrow, and even the middle is not having those issues. I know this varies per location, per arcade technician's will to keep up with the machines or whatever, but there's something I want to point out that I mentioned in a previous video. I've never seen these issues on ITG2 machines. Whenever I played on an ITG2 Dedicab, the pads were always working great, and if they weren't, they were fixed within hours, at the most 24 hours. Just to give you a rough example, I would never walk into an arcade and a player or me see that there's a pad misses going on, there's pad errors, and then go back the next day and for the issue to still be there. This might have been an old school thing, maybe the tech has changed, maybe the technicians back then liked their jobs more, maybe they want to do their jobs more, maybe people today's day and age just want to do their job just enough to get paid and they don't give a crap or whatever. The point is, In the Groove 2 dance pads, to me, had like a 97% working ratio, the 3% being the few times that someone probably stepped on it too hard or on purpose tried breaking the machine, and then it was fixed really soon afterwards. I cannot say the same thing for StepManiaX. I've went to the arcade so many times and the arrows have been unsensitive so many times. It's like a shame. I can't compare it to DDR because DDR always had those issues. I remember going to arcades and like 3 buttons not working. Like only up would work and the other buttons would barely register at all. So DDR always had that issue. In the Groove, in my experience, the arcades that I went to, the Dedicabs that I've played on, it was rare to have issues. So to see issues on StepManiaX is a little bit sad. To be fair, there were a lot more In the Groove 2 machines that I played on versus StepManiaX. So your mileage may vary, but the 2 machines that I've played on seem to have sensitivity issues. So what's my final verdict? I think Kyle Ward is a genius and he should never stop making these games. Like, as long as he has happiness doing this, I think he should continue. I don't think he should give up anytime soon. StepManiaX is an amazing addition to arcades and to the dance game niche. Highly, highly recommend giving StepManiaX a try if you haven't already. If I had to rate StepManiaX like on a scale from 1 to 10, I would give it a 9 right now. And if they fixed the few minor things I mentioned with software updates, tweaked the interface a little bit, if the dance pads were fixed and not giving these random issues that really shouldn't be there, it would be a perfect 10. It's that freaking good. Let me know what you guys think. Have you people played StepManiaX yet? Have you given it a try? Are you put off by the middle button? I've been playing it for a little over a year. I think they brought it to the arcade near me, and I'm still not used to it, so I don't blame you there. Let me know what you people think. I am Nivik, and you are a blessing. Thanks for watching.